Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Anime Over Analyst here, and today's video is going to be a review of One Piece chapter 1019 called Triceracopter. So, the chapter completely begins with Queen and Sanji pretty much duking it out, and Queen is sending like laser beam after laser beam after Frankie, and not Frankie, Sanji, and Sanji goes, "Huh, Frankie would love this because he's just shooting laser beams all over the place. This seems right up Frankie's alley." And while all of this is going on, Zoro is screaming at the two doctors. I'm blinking on their names right now, but they're both from Zoe. And he's like, "Take these bandages off before you give me the shot. Take them off of me. Take them off of me. Take them off of me." And they're like, "There are so many bandages. You're on too tight." And he's like, "Come on. Do you guys really know what you're doing?" He's like, "Fine, no matter. Just give me the shot. Get it done and over with." And so that's a pretty hilarious moment. I find that so funny. There's a lot of like little bit of just cheesy humor in this chapter, I've noticed. And we'll see more of that literally in the next scene where we're on Law's submarine. We're under the ocean and all of Law's crew members are trying to revive Luffy. They're like, "Oh no, he's turning pale. Ah, he might be dead. He might be dying. He might be dying." And they're like, "Oh no, I don't know if we can revive him. I wish Law were here." And then like suddenly Luffy, in typical Luffy fashion, just snaps awake and goes, "Meat!" Because that's Luffy. That's literally what Luffy does. He's just like, "I need my meat. Meat." So Luffy's gonna be alright as soon as he gets some meat. So we then transition over to pretty much the main chunk of this chapter, and that's the Sasaki versus Frankie fight. And we start off seeing Sasaki. He's standing upright, and we see this bloody V shape on his chest. And so we can see that some type of hit landed on him, and we'll see later on what that hit may have been. But actually, before that, I'd like to mention that all of the headliners that were part of Sasaki's crew, they're called the Armor Unit, and the majority of them, if not all of them, have turned tail on him, have started betraying him, which really, really starts pissing him off. And so Sasaki threatens to go towards the live floor where everyone else is at. And as he's doing it, he pulls out his sword, and the sword, it's really, really interesting in my notes because I've actually decided to take notes for once. Um, that his sword has like razor blades to it. And so when he pulled it out, it's like flaps opened up, and each of the flaps is like a razor blade. And he does this like helix spin move that makes his sword spin around in a circle. Kind of starts making me think that he's also part cyborg. Basically, what happened was that Sasaki's kind of horns neck thing started spinning around his head like a freaking propeller, and he literally starts taking off flying. Frankie's like, "Come on, man! Like, really? Really?" And all the other headliners are cowering in fear. They're like, "Oh no, Sasaki's going to do that move." And Sasaki's like, "If you're worried about other people at this point, you pretty much forfeit your lives." And then he goes and straight out murks a whole bunch of the headliners. Like, he just goes on what looks like a killing spree. That being said, it's One Piece, and nobody dies in One Piece, practically, besides a single ace. But, yeah, it was a very, very, like, just rough drawing. And he calls that move the Triceracopter, which is kind of cheesy, not going to lie. But that's kind of what I gathered from this chapter. There's a lot of like cheesy lines and jokes in this. That being Triceracopter being one of them. So as he's fending him off, Frankie pulls out his own sword and just blocks Sasaki. And at first in my notes, I called it a Shogun sword because he's in Shogun mode. And then it's later revealed that it's a Frankie sword. So that might have been revealed a whole lot earlier. But that was before I was doing these chapter updates. And so now I'm really trying to keep everything straight. Hence the notes. Sasaki lands and he backs up. And he's like, all right, I'm about to rush you. And Frankie's like, okay. Gonna put up general guard. I'm gonna block it. Sasaki's propeller thing starts spinning again, and suddenly he takes off backwards. And Frankie's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing, Sasaki? And Sasaki's like, I just needed some more space, man. That's all I needed. And then suddenly Sasaki takes off towards Frankie. He uses the Triceracopter bullet and rams right into Frankie, right into his Frankie guard, and damages one of the guns on his left shoulder. Frankie's like, fuck, it's gonna misfire. And then suddenly it does. It misfires. And as it's misfiring, Frankie manages to maneuver in a way where he picked up Sasaki and then does a head slam into the ground, like, bam! Has his Sasaki's sticking out of the ground. Frankie's like, well, I can't damage any other part of your body, but your belly looks pretty weak, so that's where I'm going to aim for. So Frankie takes his Frankie sword out and does a victory V-slash, just kind of like he did before. And I think he's actually done that move before, now that I remember. I think he did that in the beginning of this fight. So he does that, but Sasaki manages to pull his head out of the ground and dodge it. And as he's dodging it, he manages to clash with the Frankie sword once again, and the entire blade shatters. Frankie's like, damn it, I'm not like any of those fancy swordsmen like Zoro. Like, man, I wish I could do so much better on my swordsmanship ability, but nah, I'm more of a laser beam guy. And so Frankie's like, you know what? It's time for an all-out attack. So he starts kind of charging up some kind of attack. And Sasaki's like, no, we're not going to do this again. So he does Triceracopter bullet. And as he's doing that, Frankie does like his whole shoot thing where he's about to shoot out of his hands. And this is an image that kind of confuses me, because at this point, I'm really not sure what exactly happens. I'm not sure if Frankie was just bluffing here. He never fired a shot. I'm not sure if this was a misfire and it just never shot out. Like he was attempting to fire and it just didn't. Or if Sasaki just jumped super high and that was what the image was. I'm not sure what exactly happened in this image, and so all I can say is that Sasaki turned towards Frankie and is like, we of the Flying Six are supposed to be feared among the Beast Pirates. And Frankie's like, so what? And then Sasaki goes for one more attack. He called it Triceracopter Magnum, just trying to ram right into Frankie. And this is when Frankie used the Frankie Radical Beam. Once again, straight out. And then just spews a laser right into Sasaki, defeating him essentially. So that's it for the fight. Sasaki is down. So we are actually now starting to wrap up Wano a little bit by the looks of it. We're starting to take out these the Flying Six now. So we next transfer over to Yamato versus Kaido. And this is actually like my favorite part of this chapter, this whole fight, because it's what's really the most interesting to me. We've got Kaido and his daughter, and it's actually kind of hilarious because Kaido's like, haha, I got you that fruit. You would make an excellent military commander. You should be in the military." And Yamato's like, "Come on, is that how a father's supposed to talk to his daughter?" And Kaido's like, "Ha, like whatever. I don't care." Well, this is really starting to piss off Yamato because she's like, "Man, I only ate this fruit because I'm hungry. And damn it, now I can't even swim. I wanted to go out sailing. I wanted to be on an adventure. And this fruit has freaking chained me to this island." And when she said that, it made me think, you know who else ate a devil fruit because they were hungry? Yeah, Luffy. Luffy did on chapter 1. Yeah. I think some other people did too, but like maybe Toma, but definitely Luffy did in chapter 1. So I'm looking at those parallels and I'm like, that's really interesting. Just some really cool, neat parallels. And so Yamato really is like, I've actually got a quote from her that I really, really like it. She says, "If I abandoned this country, how could I call myself Odin?" Because she considers herself like the actual character Odin. Like she is so proud of that, of Odin. She looks up to this man because Odin is what, she respects a lot, like the Scabbards. And so we get the final shot of Kaido versus a devil fruit activated Yamato. And it's very interesting. In my notes, I wrote down some kind of flaming jackal. It's like a jackal that has fires upon it. And part of me really wondered if it's like a devil fruit. Like, not zone, but like Zo, as in one of those creatures from Zo, like an actual creature from Zo. And so it might be a possibility, though I really don't know. It's really weird. I'm not sure what that fruit falls under, but it's a really, really fascinating fruit, and it looks like one of those mythical fruits because it's got all that really cool like fires, like her whole mane's on fire, kind of like a Marco the Phoenix. And so I can't really wait to see that being like drawn and animated, like and colored in, because I bet it will look really cool. So, anyways, my final notes that I have here is just kind of more like a kind of going along with the theory. I also wrote that, is it like a Sulong fruit? And that's just going along with the Zo, characters. So is it, does it strengthen during the nighttime like it is now? That's kind of what made me think that it could have been like that type of devil fruit, but I'm not too sure. I also wanted to point out that Yamato and Ace had fought each other at one point earlier on in the story, so I wondered if like the flames could symbolize Ace and how much Ace meant to her. So that might just be more of a symbolism thing, but I think that would be cool. I don't know. Anyways, I'm the anime over analyst, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.